just stumbled upon my channel. It is going to be about experiences with NHI, extraterrestrials, aliens, whatever you want to call them. Let me tell you about myself a little bit. So my name is Ginger. I'm 40 years old. I've lived for 40 years dealing with this. It's not even a joke. This stuff really began even before I was born. It happened first with my mother. I know that there is a ton of us out there that have been through a lot and seen these things, had first-hand encounters with these beings. And I really wanted to make a podcast and a channel where we can talk about that and freely talk about that. And if you haven't noticed, if you're in the UFO community, the UAP community, you're going to see like the same people, talking about their experiences. And if you've been following this stuff since, it all began, you will know these faces, the same people, the same, guys talking about all this, and we are quite aware of them. I just don't think that it's, just these 10 people. I know that there is thousands, if not millions of us who have had an experience, seen either something in the sky or met these beings in person, and they are too afraid to talk about it. So I'm creating this channel where those of you who have had an experience and you wish to talk about it, you want to just get it out of your system and share your experience with the world, I think this would be the time. There's no better time, to be honest. Our government is talking about it, and it's about time we stop being afraid. For many years, I myself was afraid to talk about this. It is a challenging subject. It's scary, traumatizing. Everyone's experiences can be different, but I feel like for me personally, it was very traumatizing going through these almost unexplainable, terrifying moments in my life that I tried to kind of almost erase. You do not want to believe sometimes that this thing is real. We're taught a certain way. I was raised Catholic. My family is Italian. So coming from that, it is almost impossible to believe that there's something else going on here. And there is. I'm sorry if some of you are like, no. No, there is. And I'm gonna just say right now, these beings are masters of stealth. So you have people asking, well, why haven't they shown themselves? Why haven't they, been captured so easily with our advanced technology? Yes, that is true. We are indeed advancing in our technology, and it is getting better. Our cameras aren't as blurry as they used to be. However, we are still seeing blurry images. At least that's what the government doesn't mind showing us at the moment. It's like a little taste. Because I'm going to tell you why that might be. When you look at these things in person, if you had an actual physical experience with this, it's too much. Your mind is going to explode. You're not going to be able to explain what you're looking at. And it's traumatizing. It's not like, oh, an alien, ooh, hi. You're not going to be like that. You're going to literally lose your mind because it breaks your reality. And you don't want that. There's so much going on in our world, and you want to get some sleep at night. You don't want to be afraid every time you go to bed. It's like Freddy Krueger is going to get you, you know? It's that sort of feeling. You fear going to sleep. And when you don't understand something, which you won't, when you have these experiences, you're not going to know what just happened to you. And some of them could be pretty scary. It's not going to be like, they gave me the knowledge of the universe, you know? Sadly, that is not the case. No. It's probably going to be leaving you with a lot of questions. And you might even just want to believe that it was a moment where you had, I don't know, too much to drink or something, you know? You don't want to believe it. At least I didn't. I didn't want to know about it anymore. I just wanted to continue on with my life. I'm an artist. I had big dreams for myself. I wanted to become very successful, and I never wanted this to interfere with my career as an author, especially. I love writing stories, and ones that have a very important message, you know. But I just feel like this thing it's never going to leave you. The experience you have with these beings never leave you. And sometimes it can feel like when you try to reach out to a family member, a friend, you're thinking they're gonna think you're insane. And that's not fun, you know? And you know clearly you're not. You've probably went to see doctors, therapists, you've had your brain scanned, think maybe it's cancer or something, you know, or schizophrenia, and then you realize nothing's wrong with you. And that makes it, I think, a little scarier, because now it makes it real, and you start questioning everything around you. That's it. You're never going to be the same. And that is why these beings are incredibly hard for you to see. They don't want you to see them. They know they're terrifying to you, and they are pretty scary. So they look at least, you know, at first you're going to be like, what the hell is this? You know, no, this can't exist. It's not real. It can't. What is that? And then your mind breaks down. It tries to explain what it's seeing. When you are literally looking at them face to face, your mind isn't like, oh yeah, that's an alien, you know? That's not what you're gonna think. That's the part that's really challenging. And you're gonna start to see how your sanity is going to be challenged by having witnessed something like this that is out of the normal, out of just it doesn't feel like it's supposed to exist, you know, because we don't have this every day. It breaks your reality, and I think I want to start this channel because I want everyone to feel comfortable, and I also want people to be aware of these beings and know that there's really nothing to fear, even if it's a scary and maybe even dark experience that you might have had. Some people are left with a lot of questions. I luckily feel like I got enough information from them that I don't feel like it's too traumatic, you know, anymore, at least. I think that's it, you know, is that I used to be terrified of these things, and I still, if I was to see something like behind me right now, for instance, I would be, nope, I'd be running out of the room, because I don't want to see them, you know, like, it's not something you want to experience. And now I'm feeling like there's something behind me, but you don't want that, you know, that's the feeling you get, you know, like, it's almost like it's that scary feeling, like you're being watched, and it's not. who no one wants that, So I think for everyone here, I would love to hear your stories, your experiences. Let's talk about it. This is a safe place. I think sharing it with the world is now. This is the time. We're gonna need to do that. I think those of us who have had an experience, need to talk about it, and that's why this channel exists. So I was afraid that if I talked about it, I would be intimidated by our own government even, and I'm thinking, you know what, like, they can't come for all of us, and if they're not coming for people like David Grush, who whistleblowed from the Pentagon, I mean, they did go for him, but if they're not killing him right now, then maybe we can be okay too. So I want people to be able to talk about this, I want people that have had real experiences to talk about this. This is what this is for. We're trying to find the truth. We're trying to find every little puzzle piece we can to stick together, right? And if our government isn't going to tell us everything yet, then I think it takes we the people to basically come together. Really, all of us need to be aware that this place we exist in, this Earth, planet, solar system, I don't think we know really what the hell is going on, really. I don't think we know what we're really in. And we're not aware of who and what we really are. And we're searching for that, I think. Yeah. I do believe these beings know exactly who and what we are. I think there's some parts of religion that revolve around these beings. I used to go to MUFON events to discuss these things in private. We'd all meet at a library somewhere, and talk about it. And, there was people in there, very reputable people, very average people, sharing their stories, their experiences, terrifying, experiences, some of them. And people are afraid. People are going to be afraid of this. This is really scary for a lot of people. Some of you have never even had an experience, but you are afraid of these beings. You don't know what they want. You believe in them, and you may never want to ever see them. So it's kind of like ghosts, Not a lot of people witness them, but there are people that have or experienced it. And I think some people are very curious, it's very interesting. There's a lot secret, and, it feels like mysterious, magical even. But I think people need to also know, there's a lot of misinformation going around, tons of misinformation. So be very wary about what you're listening to here on YouTube or Twitter, Twitch, even, TikTok, Facebook. Just don't jump to, it's demons and stuff. Even if you're religious, these are not demons. I'm just gonna tell you, these beings are not demons. They are far from a demon of any kind. I'm sorry, but us humans act more like demons than these beings. So be knowledgeable that just because something is scary looking to you, it's not evil. And when you don't understand it, it's very simple to fear it. So do not be afraid. There is nothing to be afraid of. Just know that there is scarier things on this planet that involve us that really doesn't, I guess, we can say is them, being, there's no reason to be afraid of them. So if that was something that was worrying you, like it used to worry me, don't worry about that. I think your reality being challenged, though, that can be very traumatic. So it's definitely ontological shock, and you're going to feel like you're losing your mind, and that's something we don't want, and you're not alone. Okay, so you're not alone. You're not going through this by yourself. We are all together in this. I would love for you to come forward and share your story, tell your experience to me, and let me interview you. Us talking about what's really happening is going to help everyone feel a little bit more comfortable for what is to come. And I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm not the only one. I don't believe I'm the only one who's feeling. Tell me in the comments right now if you think that you're not the only one feeling this, right? I'm not the only one feeling this. So I know if you're feeling this too, please share it in the comments below, and let me know if you're feeling that something is happening. And I know a lot of us are willing to listen, willing to talk to each other, and willing to hear the truth. And even if it's scary, even if we don't want to believe that's true, and that's fine. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for you to accept sometimes. It took me over a decade to accept. Even longer than that, because this started when I was young. So, very young, like when I was a child, maybe 6, 7 years old. Even sooner than that, but I don't have a memory. My mother does, so I'll have her maybe come on the show and she can talk about her experience. And then it started happening with me, and it happened with my brother, and so on. My show is going to be a place where you can discuss these things. If you have fears about these beings, come to me and let's talk about it. If you have a phobia even about it, which I did at times, I was absolutely terrified. I didn't even want to think about it. But I was like, it's because I didn't understand it. I didn't know what they wanted. The scariest part too, like what are they doing to me? Are they implanting something into me? Are they controlling me? And I think that's just a lot of fear coming out. And I think that we have to be a little bit more open-minded and maybe ask, and we'll receive an answer. So for me, I was given answers. I think a little bit more than other people that have had 1 or maybe 2 experiences that I don't feel is enough. Maybe having 3 or 4 or 5 experiences, then you start to realize, wow, okay, you start putting the puzzle pieces together and you're realizing they're not as scary as I thought, thankfully. But they're also still a mystery, an enigma. I may know a little bit more than the other person, but imagine if we all came together and really put our, puzzle pieces together, and now we might have something, and something starts to come out. For those of you who don't want to show yourself, but you don't mind letting your voice be heard, I can do a recording. We can do just something without your face, and I just basically have your voice. All of us coming together and discussing our experiences openly, freely, maturely, and with just love in our heart, bringing the understanding of what is really going on without being manipulated by our government so much, trying to almost gaslight us into believing that this isn't real. Oh, ha ha ha, it's a joke. How did they get away with keeping these secrets? Well, because they made us believe it was a joke or something to laugh at. And why would they do that? But if you say, I saw this big bug-eyed looking being, and it was communicating to me telepathically, and you have other people that were like, oh my God, me too, I had that happen, then you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? But I think that if you really just want to talk about it, I will take a look at your story. Write me first, contact me, and let me know. I will put the information down below where you can contact me. People are going to judge that have never seen these things or never even wanted to think something like this could exist, but here we are, and we need to accept the truth. More so than being lied to. I don't want to live in a lie. This is different. It's starting to make sense, right? That is something that I think we all are starting to wake up to. It's hard to keep a lie going when people start coming together and talking, and when they talk, that's what they didn't want us to do before, was talk. And guess what? I'm not afraid anymore. Come forward. Let's talk about this. Let's get this in the open. Let people know there's nothing to fear. Even if your experience was scarier than mine, I still don't believe that they mean harm. I'm gonna share with you a few of my own experiences. I will discuss those in the upcoming videos. This is more like an intro to my channel, and I can have a really fantastic show for you guys where we are sharing our real experiences with real people. You know, I'm not part of the military. I don't have any secret connections and any of that. I'm just an average person who's had multiple experiences, and I want to talk about it. And that's it. There is a real thing happening here. And just because you haven't seen them doesn't mean they're not real. It just means that they're the masters of stealth. And for a long time, they didn't want to be seen by us. So that is one reason. Another reason is because they can manipulate your reality. And this is where they break physics. These beings were able to do things that, for me, isn't what we've learned about in science. And our science books, I think, need to be updated because there's definitely a lot we do not understand. Like, Neil deGrasse Tyson, if you're watching this, my friend, please, you need to start thinking outside of what a bunch of old Greek men were preaching thousands of years ago. Einstein, he's a brilliant man, but we really need to start expanding. Perhaps quantum physics is something to really study. I say this because it breaks basic physics and even advanced physics. And I think that is something closer to what is going on here. And I don't think we know what we're in. I don't think we know or understand as much. I do believe these beings are not alien. I'm sorry. I don't think they're from the planet Zota or whatever. Like, they never ever said anything like that to me. They might have technology that can be, like, allow them to be in space, but I don't believe that's where they're originally from, or at least where they're coming from. I just think they have incredible technology or advantages that they understand about what we're in and what we're experiencing here as human beings. And I think that is what's going on. Our government hasn't, like, said, you know, they've said things like, oh, well, there is no evidence of extraterrestrials. Yeah, because what if they're not? And that's my belief. My friends, I think they've been here before we ever existed. And I think this is something else. And so we need to open our minds, think beyond just what you think exists right now, and prepare yourself. Prepare your mind because it's going to be shocking. I think our government's trying to prepare us. I don't think they're doing a very good job. They need to be very careful about this, obviously. They can't just come out and say, hey everyone, there's these aliens that exist, because I don't think they are aliens. We could accept that maybe some beings from another planet are visiting us, right? Well, that's the thing. It's probably far more complicated than that. And as David Grush was talking about, our whistleblower from the Pentagon, you know, what he had said about these beings being interdimensional, you know, I think that's something our government was discussing. I think that's something that they were considering that these beings are doing. And I think that too. What I think is, you know, we're part of something right now, some kind of experiment, educational experiment, something that really could be for something else. It could be for our own consciousness, our souls even. What is a soul, you know? And so there's a lot of questions that I think people are going to have, especially when they find out there's something else. And it may not be what you want it to be. Some grasp of science and knowledge in science might help you. But if you're someone who that stuff just goes over your head, like, I don't know what that is, you're going to have trouble. You're going to have so much trouble. And if you have a big imagination, well, good luck. That's going to be challenging. I'm sorry, that's going to be so challenging. But that's why I'm here. And I can try to help. I think these beings I think we're more like these beings than we think. Remember in the Bible, there's the God made you in his image, right? That part could be true. What is God? You are probably still, practicing some religious belief, and that is perfectly fine. And, but there is so much more than even that we don't understand. And these books and ancient texts that we follow don't have every answer to. What are we going to do about that? Come forward, discuss things, even if you don't want to go forward and show your face and you just want to talk in the comments. Please share your experiences there if you wish. I think that if you don't learn this way, some of us are going to learn the hard way that these beings exist, and I'm afraid of that happening for some of you, and I feel like I had to come forward and do this. I do. Anyway, I'm gonna just close this up and wish you all a wonderful new year. I hope to see a lot of you in the future. Thank you for joining me, and keep looking up.